Hello, welcome to Moses Tech Fix, uh, Microsoft Office Fundamentals. So, yes, last time we looked at the Excel, Microsoft Office Excel. So, we saw the Home tab, we saw the Insert tab, we saw many things from the Insert tab. And then today I want us to continue with the other tabs. So, first of all, let's get started from these fundamentals. And so, when we come to the Draw tab, you will see that the same things that we have here in Excel, they are the same things that we had in the Microsoft Word. All right, the ink to math and the ink to shape right here. So these are some of the things that we had in a Microsoft Word. So you will find out that some of these, actually not even some, but many of them, they are the same. So just to make a practice, and then you'll be able to get, but they look the same. Then when we move on to the page layout, when we move on to the page layout, we have a few things here, but once again, you will also see that many of them that we do focus on were in the Microsoft Word. For example, the margins. We saw the margins. You can either select wide, or you select the narrow ones, or you select the moderate. So it depends which one would you like. And then we saw the orientation either from landscape to portrait or portrait from landscape. And then still in Microsoft Word, we saw the paper sizes. So remember I told you here we prefer letter as a paper size, or we prefer A4, right? Letter or A4. So if you do not select letter, you select A4. Those are the two major ones that we use. And then we have the only thing that is different here is the print area. So when you are going to print, you can select what you want to print when you are going to print in your machine. You can select the print area here, and then the moment you press Ctrl P, you will be able to see that you only have the active cells, these ones that you want to print. So only that I do not have data here, but when you select that, I'm sure it will be able to work. So whenever you see this small symbol here, that means you are going to deal with the printers, okay? Yes, so yeah, the page breaks, we saw these ones in Microsoft Word, inserting another page, and then the background, this one is internet, so when you are offline, you cannot use it. The scaling, these are the width, the heights, and the scale of the whole workbook or the worksheet. How you want the size of your words to be, or how you want the size of your work to be. All right. So we saw many of them here in the Microsoft Word. So this is why I'm not taking a lot of time in this. And then let's move on to the formulas. So this tab, formulas, it is a um, it is a tab which consists of all the Microsoft 365 Excel formulas. Each formula you have ever had, it is right here in the function library. Every formula, every function you have ever had, it is right here. For example, when you click here to insert a function, you can see that the mostly used or the recent ones I've used. Or if I come here, I can select all. So this combines everything, every formula in Excel. Or when I come back to the drop down arrow here, I can select the financial formulas, and then you see I have financial formulas, and then I can select engineering, troop, information. So many of these, they are all formulas that are supposed to be used in Excel. And then furthermore, when you look at down here in the function library, we have many other formulas right here. We have the auto sum formulas whereby you can get the sum, the average, the count, the max, the minimum, and then you even have more functions here, which takes you back to the other first dialog that we have been seeing. And then the recently used formulas, they are here, and then the financial ones, they are here, the logical ones, they are here. So we have very many formulas. It depends what would you want to calculate, or which formula would you like to use. So for example, if I need if I need a value, if I need to calculate something that I am actually maybe an estimate of something. So let me say I want to insert a function of one of my recently ones used, and I want to find the average, or I want to find the sum. So when I click on the sum and I click OK, you'll see the computer will give me a dialog which has the sum, the function arguments. So what is your first number? So for example, my first number is 56. And then what is the second number I want to add? The second number is 70. And then maybe the third number I want to add is 34. So, and you realize when I feed in the values here, the total comes right down here below the values. So the moment I'm done and then I click OK, you will find that I have the value. So this is the easiest way of adding up numbers. And you will see that the formula appears right here in the formula bar. So let's take an example. So if I have 24 there, and I have 66 there, and I have 70 there, and I have 12 there, then I need a sum of these things. So last time in the first lesson, I showed you how to do it. So, but here let us try to use the insert function here. So when we go to the insert function, and then we have this, and then we look for the sum here, and then we click OK. So when we click OK, uh, we give it, let me say, maybe 24, and then number 2 is 60 or 24, and then number 2 is 66, and then number 3 is 70, and then number 4 is 12. So after that, you will see that the total is 172 right here. And then when you click OK, the total will have to appear, and the sum will be already here. Okay, so that is one of the simplest way how we can do it. Or even maybe when you insert a function of the sum, or maybe this time around, let us look at another function like the average here. You click on average and then you say OK. So when you highlight all these like that from C8 to F8, and then you press OK, you will see that you have the average from C8 to F8, which is the average of 24, 26, 70, and 12. You will have it here as the average. So that is the best simple step of inserting a function in formulas without using the other formulas I told you last time, whereby you open the equals, and then you type in sum, and then you open the brackets, and then you highlight like number 24, or plus this plus that, or you click here, and then you add this. So this is a bit tiresome, it takes you a lot of your time. But if you click where you want the total or any formula to appear, and then you come to the formula bar here, and then you insert a function right here in this cell. And then, for example, we say we are looking for the maximum, for the max here, and then you click OK. So the moment you click OK, you can even, to be sure, you can even highlight all the cells that you want to see which one is the maximum. You can highlight them, and then after highlighting them, you just click OK. Then you will get the maximum number as 70 from C8 to F8. Remember, I told you last time Excel reads column first and then a row. It doesn't read the row and then column. No, column first and then row. So yeah, this is why when you see the maximum is 70, the maximum number here. So that is one of the simplest ways to deal with formulas in this Excel, all right? And then we have many other formulas right here. There are very, very many. So what you just do, you just come to the insert function, and then you look at maybe you select the financial, the date, statistical, logical, text, engineering, or the mostly used that you want to deal with, and then you check the one that you need, like average, like sum, or for example, database, you say you need to dig it, you need the D count A. So it depends which one you would like. And then after you have selected which one you like for example, uh, which one shall I select here? Uh, the count, and then you click OK. So when you click OK, you will be you to be sure you have to re-highlight the values where you want Excel to take effect. You highlight them. After highlighting them, and you click OK. You will see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 as the count. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 as the count. And then all these formulas, the financial, the logical, the text, the date and time, the lookup, the math and trigger, we have them right here in the insert function tab. Right? We have them there. So when you click there to insert a function, and then you come to selecting a category, you will find that we have all of them here. The math, the statistical, the database, math and trigger, and then you have a drop down of math and trigger here. And then we also have the logical, and also you have the logical ones right here. And then we have the lookup and reference. You have all of these ones here. So it depends which one are you going to use in this in your work. Okay. So now after that, we have more functions here. The statistical ones that we have seen that are not being able to be listed right over here, so they fixed them here in the more functions. So here we basically deal with formulas. We even have error handling or error checking mechanism. So when you have errors in your workbook, you can always use the error checking. It will help you so much to see that maybe you can solve stuff. For example, if I click this cell and I want to insert a function, for example, let me say lookup, and then I choose maybe HLOOKUP, and then I press OK, and then I highlight, for example, this, and then I click OK. The arguments are too many. Just I want to get a correct one. Then when I press enter, let me get a better one. Okay, let me get a better one. And let's see. Okay, sorry. Let me try to get another one. Okay. Okay, so let me start a function from another category. For example, financial. Let me say I need the effect, and then I click OK after selecting the effect. So I highlight the numbers I want to take effect. Um, well, um, okay, just find one. Okay, but this is not an error. Anyway, so I wanted us to get an error and we check how we deal with error checking, but maybe I'm doing all things right, or I do not have the necessary information. But just as Microsoft Word spelling check, error checking is also here for Excel. So you check your, it can help you check your formulas, and then you can maybe see where you're going wrong. All right, or let me first do it in another context. For example, when I open equals and uh, I say I get the brackets on, I get this, and then I add this, and then maybe let me try to add a comma and a full stop, and then this, and then when I close the brackets and press enter, uh, okay, it doesn't do what I want. Okay, all right, okay, so I got one here. So for example, when you have a hash value right here, or when you have a null, or when you have a hash value, like for example here, the moment you go to error checking, the Excel will point out which error, where is the error that you have, and then you'll see here, you'll have a dialog box saying error in cell K8. So cell K8 is this cell where you see the name, the word hash value. So the addition will be, you will be seeing what you have worked on here, which is a C8, a D8, and a K10. So this means that there is an error because you cannot get the summation of the values right here. So, and then you see the error in value, that a value used in the formula is of a wrong data type, right? So you can either say help on this error, show calculation steps, or ignore error if you want, or edit in formula bar. So when you say help on this error, you will need to use the internet, all right? Need to use the internet, and then when you say show the calculation steps, you will see that you have the reference and the value here. So when you evaluate, you will still have a hash value, which doesn't work. So when you ignore this error, the hash value will just stay there as it is. But when you edit in the formula bar, you will see that Excel takes you just back right here to the formula bar, such that you can edit and see what is the problem. So for example, now for your case, you have noticed that you have a comma which is not supposed to be there when you are making up an addition. So you have to click right away here in the formula bar, and then you delete this comma, and then you put a plus. So the moment you put a plus, which is the correct symbol there, and then you press enter, you will see that you have the correct answer. So error checking, it just helps you to know which type of error do you have, and then how can you deal with it. So now, since I've finished to correct my error, everything looks fine here. All right, so now I'm error free, right? And then another cool feature here, for example, if you say you need like the sum here, uh, for example, when you need Um, let me look for the sum here. When you need the sum, and then you click OK right here. So when you highlight like this, and then when you click OK, you will have the calculation here coming through. And then when you say that you use the other way around, which is equals sum, you open the brackets, and then you highlight all these values, and then you close the bracket. So after closing the brackets, there is a small button right here, this one, which is calculate now. So the moment you click calculate now, you will get the value as 175. So those are some of the cool features around here that we do focus on very much. So all these formulas and the function library, all these ones here, they are fixed right away in the insert function. Okay, because when you click on the insert function, you can either choose here in the category, what do you like? You want financial, date, math, statistical, everything. And whichever formula that you use or that you choose, it is right here. Okay. And then here on the formula editing, we focus on error checking. And then here on the calculation, if you like, you can use calculate now. Okay. So those are some of the main steps that we do focus on here. Then when we go to the data, data is it is the way of managing your data here in Excel. Like for example, like that. And when you have another Excel table, or when you have a web table, or when you have a data table, for example, from the Power BI, from the online services, from the Fabric and platform, things like that, from the Power BI as well, you can use your data here, and then you can integrate it into the Excel. But on this data tab, we focus on a few things, all right? A few things that we focus on here in the data tab. And there are only two which are fundamental, 2 to 3 that are fundamental. So the first one is when you have a huge sum of data, you sort, all right? You sort. So sorting is like arranging from A to Z. You can arrange from Z to A. You can arrange from any side that you like. All right. So sorting and filtering. All right. These are the first cool fundamental features that we focus on. So remember in the home tab right here, we saw the filter, the sort and filter right here. So now they are bringing it back here in the data tab. So this is all about selecting your data, or selecting which one would you which sorting, or which type of data would you like. All right. So for example, when I have something like that, and when I highlight my table, all of this table, and I click the filter symbol, you'll see that I have signs here. And these drop down arrows, they will show me sort and filtering. Okay. So if you have large sums of Excel, or large sums of lines with numbers and names, you can sort from A to Z, or from Z to A. You can even select which values would you like. So things like that. This is all about sorting and filtering. All right. So the last one, the last thing that we do focus on here, it is called data validation right here. It is called data validation. So data validation, we use it many times when we are creating forms with drop down arrows. All right. So uh, I'm not sure if you have ever seen uh, like a data validation, but to give you a picture about it, you see right here on this symbol, on this right hand side, there is a drop down. And when you click on the drop down, you see that you have more values right here, right? So this is how the data validation also works. So, for example, if you have an Excel and then maybe you have a for example a of student name of the student, all right, and then you do not want your teacher or your boss to 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 manually check for the names, but you just need them to use a drop down arrow. Okay, so how do you do it? If you have a student name right here, and then you need just your boss not to check in the whole list, but to check one student. So what you do, it's like you're filtering or sorting students. What you do, you can use a uh, data validation equipment here or button. But this one, it requires you to have a target folder, or a target sheet, which contains the names of the students. Okay, so for example, when I come and I create a new sheet, this is a plus. It means you're creating a new sheet. When I come and I create a new sheet, right away down here, and I name it sheet 2, so I can be able to put names of my students: Moses, Isaac, John, and Samuel. Right. So these are the students that I want to appear in my data validation button. Okay. So when I come back to sheet number 1, and I need to validate some data here with data validation. So I use this drop down arrow here that you see, and then I click on data validation. So data validation, it will ask you for a validation criteria, number 1. But here, in most cases, it depends what you want. All right? It depends what you want. If it is time, you select time. If it is text length, you select text length. If it is decimal, you select decimal. But for me, this time around, I need a list. Okay? This time around, I need a list. So I click on the list, the word list. Then now here, they will ask you for a source. All right? A source, this is where your list is coming from. All right? That is the source where your list is coming from. So you will click on this arrow that is pointing upwards, like this. You will click on it once, and then you come to sheet number 2, where you typed your names, and then you highlight the names. But when you're highlighting, you also leave you highlight a blank a blank cell as well. All right, you highlight the names with a blank cell, right? So after that, you come back here and you click on this arrow which is facing down. So you will see the results on equals on sheet 2, blah 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 blah. All right, that is the source. Then you click OK. So when you click OK, you will notice that you have something like that. All right, something like this on the sorry, I make it a bit bigger. You will have something like that on the sheet, okay, or on this cell that you have used. So the moment your boss comes to select a student, he will not type in the name. They will just come here and then click the drop down arrow. All right. So this drop down arrow will give them the names of all the students that you have listed in sheet 2. So instead of your boss going the other way around, this is the way how you can simplify for them the names of the students. So when they click Moses, Moses will come. When they click Isaac, Isaac will come. When they click John, John will come. When they click Samuel, Samuel will come. But remember, if they don't want to click on anyone, This is why I told you that when you are highlighting, you highlight an empty cell as well, such that when they are done and they do not need to see anything, they just click in the space and no one will be there. Okay, so that is all about data validation. And for example, when you have like a column of many things of these, you can always remember I told you, you put your mouse in the small uh, black box in the bottom right of your cell, of the active cell, and then when the cursor turns into a black cross, you long press with your left hand, and then you drag with your left finger on the mouse, and then you drag. So the moment you remove the left finger from the mouse, you will see that each cell you have highlighted, it has a drop down. You see, it has the list, each cell that you have highlighted. It has a data validation, right? So you can even go further and select more of what you would like, okay? So that is what we call data validation, right? So now, yes, those are many or some few fundamental steps that we do focus on in the Excel. So guys, I'm waiting for your questions. Please ask, and then I'll be ready to answer. See you in the next lesson.